Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 692. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is Wednesday, the 9th of April, 2025, and Laura and I both use the she, her pronouns.
Yep.
Let's see. Weather's been bananas. It was beautiful this weekend, and then it snowed on Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember here. I don't know about you.
We had 4 days of tornadoes.
Yes. Yeah. Did actual tornadoes touch
They
down
hit
in...
Holly Springs.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I know it was sustained, um, over a long period of time. 4 days is a long time to deal. I'm sure Pearl really loved hanging out in the bathroom.
She did. We were bathroom buddies. It's
I
from
don't
her
have a
old
ton
movie
this
before.
week,
Okay.
but I do have a few things. Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
If you would go so I could get to the end of this row, that would be
Sure,
great.
no problem. So I'm still working on my Lace and Fade boxy. This is out of Republica Unicornia and Miss Bab's gradient set. So I'm on the fifth color, and I've got one more lace section to go, and then the last color to go, and then I'll have a few inches of sleeves.
I'm laughing because Pearl has a squeaky toy right outside the door.
Oh, is it her wizard thing? Yeah,
Yeah. She
I
loves
look
it
forward to seeing
so
that.
much and how much she wants to murder it.
Um, yeah, so I've got a few inches of sleeves and then a little bit of a neckband to go. I expect I'm going to like a girls' weekend tomorrow, so I expect I will probably finish this because I don't have a whole lot left on it to go, just little bits, um,
Oh
and
wow.
another stripe. So, um, well, I say that and it'll probably come back to bite me, but I anticipate finishing this in the next week or two.
Wow.
So,
That's a
um,
lot of work.
yeah, I'm excited, and that means I need to pick out what I'm knitting next from my SSK stash.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Well, I don't really have, I have a little bit of analysis paralysis when it comes to making decisions, but I know I want to do a muscle burra and self-striping,
Yeah.
and I have several self-striping schemes from last year's SSK to pick from, so that's probably what I will do to start with. Um, I haven't worked on my English paper piecing because I'm going to take it with me because it's just a lot of tedious sewing and
Yeah.
manipulating, hand sewing. But I am going to, or I started a new foundation paper piecing. So the difference primarily, as I understand it, and please, I can be wrong. I'm frequently wrong. That should be the episode title, Frequently Wrong. Um, the way I understand it, the primary difference, well, one of the main differences is English paper piecing is done by hand. Foundation paper piecing you can do on the machine. So,
Oh,
like, you
interesting.
stitch through shapes, like complicated
Like fussy
geometric
cut shapes.
shapes,
Yeah.
and then trim and everything, and you get these very precise shapes. So, this is not printed in color, so it's a little bit harder to see, but it's a little banner that says "Be Fabulous."
Oh, cute.
Um, and I had Christine help me with colors because, again, choices are hard for me. So each letter has an inner and an outer color, and then there's like a background and
Fun.
uh, all of that. So I started on this today. It is, excuse me, a little challenging because you have to think about things backwards and upside down when you're
Okay.
sewing things together. So there's an F that's supposed to be here that I did sew, but I sewed it wrong. So it went into the trash because you're sewing it's hard to recover these pieces because you're using such a short stitch length that picking it out is really, really hard.
Gotcha.
Um, but any foundation paper piecers that have tips would love to hear them. But yeah, so uh, it's one of those things where being precise is important and spatial reasoning, which is I'm not great with. Um,
Could you like print it and then like flip it, like mirror it, and then just hold it upside down as like the pattern to help you like see it
well, the
as you.
thing is, you have to sew through what's considered the back, but on the other side, your fabrics have to be right sides together, so you have to.
Okay.
It's difficult to explain without actually doing it, and there certainly could be an easier way out there. Again, I'm frequently wrong. Um, but I've done some blocks in foundation paper piecing,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it's been a while. So, of course, I decided to go for something a little more complicated because,
Why not? Go
hello,
big or go
that's
home.
me. Um, that's basically what I've got in progress. So,
Cool.
what about you?
I've cut a bunch of stuff in progress and like a little bit of progress on each. So the bunny tails hat is still sitting here. Getting a little bit of work done every time I sit down to record because it's easy to pick up and just knit round, round, round. I do need
Mm-hmm.
to get this done though by next time we record. So this is going to become a priority because it needs to go to the person it's going to for Easter. So that is the Bunny Tails hat by Susan B. Anderson out of Cascade, Hollywood, which was very deep stash, a very glittery deep stash. And it's being knit on size 5 needles. And then the other thing that y'all have seen before is a pair of socks that I am increasing for the heel on.
Mm.
So this is a colorway by Vesper, Knitterly Things, and the Stay Weird. And I'm knitting it on size zeros. These are going to my grandmother for her birthday this month. So I just need to start the heel increases, do the heel, and move on. So those are the two things that y'all have seen before, I believe. And then I have two new things. So the two new things, the first is the footpath socks. This is a pattern that is in Ply Magazine, and it is a mosaic sock pattern. I'm knitting it on size 0 needles over 64 stitches. There's 3 different sizes in the pattern, and even though the pattern calls for hand spun, I am using a self-striping yarn from Michelle of Woolens and Nosh and a contrast color because she sends you, if you're in her sock club, you can do a mini skein with the self-striping. So those are on the needles. I had to rip back a bunch because I got off because I was talking one night. And then, so they were a lot farther, and then they got ripped back around 10 to 15 rows. And then, what got cast on last night is a cardigan. So this is the Wave of Change jacket, and I am doing a lot of alterations with this. Excuse me. I'm using a yarn called Wonder Fluff from Knit Picks, which is a very fluffy chainette construction yarn. So it's a nylon chainette with alpaca
Mm.
poof. So when you use like a chainette yarn like this, it usually acts the way that the core is. So like the nylon in this case. Although it does have all this fuzz, but like stretch wise, there is
Mm-hmm.
0 stretch. I did do a gauge swatch and washed it, and I was a little bit off. Instead of having 6 inches, I had like 5.5 inches. So that plus the lack of stretch, I went up a needle size. Or not up a needle size. I went up a garment size. I liked this um fabric, and I felt like if I went up a needle size, it would be too loose. So I'm knitting this on size 8 needles, which is the largest needles I have used in a very long time. But it is a bulky construction. So it's the pattern calls for 3.5 stitches per inch. So it is a top-down raglan. I'm working on the raglan right now.
Mm,
And then there's this detail. I know did you knit the cardigan
I
or
need to
did you
pull
knit?
over.
Okay, so I've knit the pullover before, so this is my first time knitting the cardigan. I knit my pullover out of 100% cotton,
Mm-hmm.
um, like a bulky cotton that someone had gifted me. So, yeah, so I'm knitting a bright pink sweater. I wish we have 80s dress up day on Friday. I wish it would be done in time for that, but also it's going to be way too warm anyways,
Yeah.
um, because it was in the 80s here today, like low 80s. So, yep, that's what it will eventually look like. So, the fun thing about having a camera that only goes like halfway down.
Yeah.
So yeah, the pattern calls for snaps instead of buttons. I'm probably just going to leave it open. And it's got a band that gets put on as well. I might do an I-cord instead of a true band. I'm going to see how it fits first.
Right.
The nice thing
Yeah.
about cardigans, I'm making all these alterations. And part of that is because I can recover if I make a serious, not so serious mistake. I can recover with the band a little bit. Like I can make it
Mm-hmm.
wider or shorter. And also, what else was I gonna say about that? Oh, I'm gonna make it A-line a little bit. I might make it cropped. I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna see how it goes. So I'm gonna get
Mm.
past the sleeve divide, and then I'm gonna knit the sleeves first, and then
Okay.
see how much yarn I have left over. Because I only bought 8 balls of this because I was intending to do the smaller size. But since
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing with gauge in that, I do want it long sleeve. So we're gonna see how it looks when it gets to a cropped length, and go from there. And that is living in my very cute bag from Tomato Moon. So she sent us bags as door prizes the last several years, and I've always, when
Mm-hmm.
they come, I've been like, "That's gorgeous." I love that bag, because it's got like this top part where you can make your bag larger, or you can tuck that in, and it's got billions of pockets. So I was like, on the side there's billions of pockets, and on the inside. And our friend Sarah has gotten several bags from her recently and just been raving about them. And I love like a wood cut print.
Yeah,
Like,
like a lino cut.
yeah. So when I saw this fabric go up, I was like, that is coming to live with me. And it is a good, Pearl just barked at me. It is a good bag for that project so far. Once it gets bigger, maybe not. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think that
Cool.
is everything that I have on the needles. It is. So lots of things in progress. Just a little bit of progress on each though.
Yeah,
So
progress is
yeah,
progress, though.
it is. I do have a finished object. Do you have any finished objects? You do.
I do. So I was working on the mini pop cardigan, and this is linked in our show notes. Everything we talk about, we put in our show notes, which is they're found at our on our website, TheKnitGirls with 3Ls.com. And this called for like a very involved button band and longer sleeves, and I just decided not to do either of those things. So it's just like a little jacket.
Cute.
It's not going to be for warmth anyway because it's like a granny square open kind of piece, and it really needs blocking because I sort of mangled part of the front band. But I'm just not as great at crochet garments, and I am sure with practice I would get better, but I don't really want to.
Are you gonna add ties to it or just
I'm
leave
going
it as?
to add some sort of way to close it. I might do like an I-cord, just like a
Yeah.
long I-cord tie, and then it can, be tied in a bow or laced up or whatever. Or maybe ribbon. We'll see. But yeah, I will send it with a way to tie it or close it together. So that's out of another crafty girl in her artifacts colorway.
Good color.
Um, and it's a really nice squishy yarn. I like it a lot. So, yeah, that's the thing that I finished was sort of followed the pattern of the mini pop cardigan and then sort of decided not to faff with sleeves or a button band.
Okay. I finished a sweater. I finished the Layla sweater, and I actually wore it to work. It was 50 degrees on Monday here. So I wore it to work, and my kids kept petting me.
Oh, I
Um,
mean,
my adults that I work with didn't realize that it was handmade, but the kids picked up on it, especially my tutoring kids, because sometimes I knit during tutoring if they are working on something.
right.
Um, so yeah, all done. I
I'll put
was
in a picture if you like.
Yeah, we can definitely. My kids took a picture of me. So,
Mm-hmm.
but hand spun into the world in the just pretentious enough on Gray Cordale. And then the gray at the top is Modern Daily Knitting's Atlas, which I have two skeins left over of, and I'm really happy about that because I want to use it for something else. They just did like a Madeline Tosh collab that's super cute. But it is a Rambo, and I really like the squishiness factor, and the Cordale adds lots of drape. Um, so yeah, I'm very happy with how it came out. It's going to be a nice layering piece for the wintertime. I tend to wear a lot of vests to work because I can take them on and off as I have a hot flash. So um, yeah, that is done. It was
That's
knit
awesome.
on fours, I think. Did I put that in there? So yeah, really, really
That's been on
happy
the
with
needles
that.
for a bit, right? Like
Since October, I think.
October. Okay.
Yeah. So my goal every year is to get 6 sweaters in it, and last year I got 5. And this year I would like to again get 6, so I have one done, the Layla. Um, and hopefully I'll get some progress done on the Wave of Change jacket as well. But yeah, we'll see, and it'll be in the tasting room at SSK, or try
Yeah,
it on room at SSK, so people can try it on. So that is my big FO. That has been a long time coming. I have no spinning because I was working on a lot of knitting this week. Do you have any spinning?
I do, but I mean, it looks exactly the same as it looked before. I've got like maybe half an ounce left to spin
Oh, that's exciting.
on that 4 ounces, and then I'll be able to apply. Um, Maybe I'll take some spinning with me on my trip. But yeah, so I mean, it looks exactly the same. I mean, there's more on the bobbin, but it's not exciting enough to really show you this is the finished bobbin. It looks like this.
It's
Like
very
it's
cute. What are you
um
gonna spin next when you're done with that?
I don't know. I've got some more oink and I've got some a local wool that I can't remember the name of that I got at Fox River
Okay.
Fibers. So a
But
couple
you don't have any
of
SSK left?
no, I've already spun. I
Perfect.
only bought 2 braids at SSK,
Okay.
so I've already done that. But yeah, that's basically all that I've got spinning wise. I haven't really been reading, well, like book reading physical book. I've been listening to. I finished Annihilation, which is the first in the Area X series by Jeff Vandermeer, and I started Authority, which is the second. And I'm alternating between that and the Lightning Struck Heart. They're very different ends of the spectrum. Um, Area X is like hard to categorize. You spend a lot of time confused about what's happening, and it's
Is it
sort of science
sci-fi?
fiction-y.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds
sort
sci-fi.
of science fiction-y. And then the Lightning Struck Heart is like
Fantasy.
silly feels kind of fantasy,
Yeah.
male romance. Um, but yeah, that's what I've been listening to. What about you?
I started listening to Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. It is a nonfiction book about tuberculosis and the
Mm-hmm.
history of tuberculosis. I think it's like 6 hours, and I may be an hour in. It is really informative. I really like how John Green reads. So
Mm-hmm.
I am learning a lot and more than I thought I could. And it's really, really interesting. I like history, anyways. That's one of my degrees. And so it is nice to see this perspective on how illness alters history.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's what I've been doing. And just working a ton. Always working.
Yeah, you are always working. Um, you have knit night tonight, right?
Yep, in around 15 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to get some food in my gullet because I went from tutoring to here to there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, trying to fit everything in is not always a fun jigsaw puzzle, but okay.
it's
Well,
fun.
I hope you have an awesome knit night.
Thank you.
And for everyone else, we will see you next week and hope you have a lovely week and weekend. Bye, all.
Bye, y'all.